Hey, everybody. Michelle is here on this Friday. Friday. You know what I'm saying? So, I just finished my walk. And, for me, walking is enough. I walk pretty fast, but at the same time, I turned it into a walking meditation, per se. So, in other words, I'm still kind of paying attention to what I feel, when I'm walking on the ground, what I hear, all the senses come into play when I'm doing that. So walking is enough for me. It's on a Friday, October the 13th. Friday the 13th? Holy shit. You know what that means, right? Not a goddamn thing. How about that? It only means something if you apply meaning to it. And I told you how dangerous that is with our thoughts, but I'll come back to that in a minute. But yes, walking is enough for me to get what I need from that because I apply all of my sensing into it. What I smell, hear, blah, 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 all the sensing, which is about 12 of them, possibly more. And, and then I used to work out with the weights, but I told you I've injured myself. So I had to be really careful about certain activities at my house or in my environment when I'm by myself. And even if I'm with somebody, I can still get injured with somebody here or or when I'm by myself and up in here. So I had to be mindful of that because I like I said, I injured myself in my yard working out with working with tools and doing this and that and the other. And then I also injured myself lifting weights one time, hurt my shoulders and this and that and the other, working out indoors. So, you just have to be mindful of that you can get injured when you're working out. But anyway, yeah, walking is enough, because like I said, I put enough, I walk fast enough so I can get my heart rate up and then, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I put out something to contemplate, cultivate, meditate, but not ruminate on foreigners to the planet. Foreigners to the planet, which also means extraterrestrials or ETs or whatever people want to call them. And I told you, they've been with us for millions and millions and millions of years. But that's been disclosed from us for a reason. There's always a reason for everything, and that's what I want you to consider, okay? And find out for yourself, okay, why would anybody need to hide that from me? Right? Okay, so yes, I said that we, some of us, okay, let me just kind of spread it out a little bit and make it simpler. There's a lot of groups of people on this planet that are descendants of foreigners, which are, ETs, extraterrestrials. So, but that, like I said, that's been hidden from us for some reason. And that's where you individually have to figure out on your own by connecting dots, filling in missing pieces, and asking yourself, what's the benefit for me not knowing this? Right? So anyway, yes, we are a lot of us are descendants of foreigners, just as there are a lot of descendants of foreigners in every country, right? If you can't have it's the same concept. If you have foreigners in America, foreigners in Europe, what does that mean? Their origin was elsewhere. Okay, that's the same thing with human beings on the planet. And so I don't know why that would be a hard stretch to contemplate. But as I said, for some reason is hidden from us. And you have to ask yourself why. Okay? That's another question. And who benefits from you not knowing this? Okay? I'm sharing my theories and opinions on it. Okay, which I am allowed to do, but it's up to the individual to consider what it means to them. and kind of cultivate it into their style of understanding, and find out, okay, what's going on here. So if we can be foreigners from another country, we can be foreigners from another galaxy. That sounds logical to me. Okay, let's consider that. So like I said, a lot of our ancestors uh, came from another planet. Okay, this one particular planet I want to concentrate on, because I think this is the planet that we ought to we ought to know about and know about the implications of this particular planet. All right, there's one particular planet, we call it the Sirius constellation or the Sirius star, that kind of thing. So, and they were an advanced society, average age of 1,000 years, high tech. I mean, their technological, their tech was high. Their consciousness was even higher. Okay, but it got to a point to where they started to also disintegrate in their own consciousness, which means that they were full of themselves, right? I mean, that's usually what happens sometimes. We get full of ourselves when we have a particular type of knowledge base and abilities, right? We want to play God, so to speak, and that's literally, figuratively, metaphorically. So just calm down when I use that word God, because it conjures up stuff in a lot of subconsciousness. It really does. So just be impersonal and attempt to be neutral. So this particular Sirius constellation at that time, which is millions, well, let's just say in the realm of thousands of years ago, got full of themselves, supposedly, because of their skills and abilities and their abilities to manifest things. And so they got to a point where they started experimenting on themselves, like a lot of people want, like what's happening even on this planet, where we are attempting to increase our longevity and having designer desires, whether we want a bigger penis, or having all these other abilities that necessarily we were not born with, per se. So that's the same thing that happens when you're disintegrating or degenerate. When you're degenerating means you are very badly out of the control of good human nature. In other words, you have gone extreme and radical, imbalanced yourself and your consciousness, and that's what happened to this particular society of people or human beings. Okay, so what they did was they became vulnerable because they relied so much on knowledge base. They thought that knowledge can keep them safe, which is illogical. Okay, because you need some type of defense, whether you're defending yourself, defending people you love, or defending a country. Okay, but there's still a neutrality there, where you want to regain, where you want to remain in a peaceful environment. So, just like everybody else, like I said, they got full of themselves, they got arrogant, got cocky, and they knew that they have these certain abilities and skills. So they decided to manipulate, just like AI, like what's happening with AI. Okay, manipulate and interfere with the development of people. Like I said, whether it's to change their eye color, because a lot of people are changing their eye colors now. A lot of people getting surgery to have a certain type of body. Okay, it's the same kind of concept, where you're interfering per se, and you're attempting to enhance something about yourself, and that's due to lack of confidence. Mostly is due to getting very badly out of control of good human nature. In other words, you're becoming so extreme and delusional, and you think you are God. All right, let's keep that there. So over the course of time, they realized that these high advanced people in the Sirius constellation or the Sirius star realized they were vulnerable, because they enhanced themselves so much, via interference, because where they had extremely high consciousness, but like I said, you still need to defend yourself. So they made themselves defensiveless. In other words, they couldn't defend their planet. They couldn't defend themselves. So anyone with aggressive means could come on to their planet and blah, blah, blah. I mean, you could be as smart as, a donut for all I care. But, if you can't, you still got to defend yourself, your family, your country, whatever, if need be. In a neutral, it's defense. You have to defend yourself. It's about self-preservation. It's not about self-sacrifice. Okay? So over the course of time, they interfere with the genetics of certain people, and they use these people as their fighters, so to speak. Just like what we're planning to do with the AI. Stay with me. They use a certain class of people, a class of human beings, people that they thought were, guess what, subservient to them. In other words, they chose a class of people because on every planet you need someone that has somewhat of a lower consciousness, like kindergartners. You have the middle, and then we have the graduates. They were the so-called, supposedly the spiritual or the leaders somewhat of this particular planet, blah, blah, blah. So they, like I said, they got full of themselves. They started interfering with particular people via their technology. And what they did is basically turn these people, these human beings, into fighting machines. Stay with me. They turn them into fighting machines, meaning they essentially are the front line. They threw these people on the front line of their defense of their planet. And these people were responsible for protecting them because they degenerated themselves and lost the ability to defend themselves. All right, so they had to create people to do that via manipulation and interfering with certain genetics of certain people. All right, don't worry about all of that right now. So they created a fighting machine. In other words, they threw certain people into the front line, just like we are known to do. Okay, based on assumptions about certain people. It goes on everywhere. Okay, not just on Earth. So they create this fighting machine of people that were responsible for defending the planet. But these advanced humans on the Sirius constellation or the Sirius star had an ulterior motive as well. And they knew that they made them so aggressive and shortened their lifespan. All right? The Sirius constellation had an average lifespan of 1,000. They shortened the lifespan of these human beings that are now fighting machines, per se, fighting human beings, soldiers, to 100. But their plan in the end was to what? At some point, they had plans to destroy these people that they had essentially manipulated and created to be a fighting machine and shorten their lifespan. But what they didn't realize is that these fighting machines or soldiers of human beings were becoming more and more and more and more aggressive, to the point of that the Sirius constellation, these so-called high consciousness spiritual people on the planet were afraid of these people that they interfered with and caused to exist. So they were becoming afraid of them. So they had plans to eliminate them somehow. The word went out, and these human beings escaped that planet. Okay? When they escaped that planet, they were traveling in spaceships, by the way. They started to travel all throughout the universe. This is a condensed version of it. There's more detail. I'm just giving you big picture. So, that's irrelevant now. I just want to bring you to where we are and why we're in the peril, okay? And all right, so stay with me. So they escaped that planet and started traveling through the vastness of the universe to find a suitable place to live. Okay? At some point, they ended up on a planet called Malona. All right, when they all got on the planet Malona, they felt safe to be there. The people in the Sirius constellation had no idea where these people had gone, that they were essentially attempting to eliminate, destroy. They ended up on Malona. Once they got on Malona, everything seemed fine. At some point, they eventually caused something to happen and destroyed that planet. Okay, when I say destroyed it, it was destroyed. Okay, so, and let me make something clear. When the human beings were escaping the Sirius constellation, they went in all sorts of directions. Like I'm just focusing on Malona right now. Others went elsewhere. Okay, throughout the vastness of the universe, they went elsewhere. All right, these particular human beings that ended up on Malona, everything was going fine and dandy, and then they destroyed the planet. Destroyed it. Okay, and turn it into a material belt that now is a part of our soul system. There's a material belt out there with objects and articles, and if it's closely examined, they realize it's part of a planet. Okay, that's all right. That planet got destroyed. Eventually, some of them ended up on Mars. Mars became a cosmic nightmare because they were constantly being threatened with asteroids and other cosmic events, which made it they could not because it was not safe to be there. Okay, all right. So they eventually had to leave Mars. So we've been on Mars before. We've been on Mars before, and there should be, once we, when I say we, I'm talking about those that are planning to head there. Once they get there, they'll realize that we've been there, that someone's been there. When I say we, I say our ancestors. Someone's been there. Some of our ancestors were there. Mars, okay? Some of our ancestors ended up on, because where was the Mars face? Wherever that face that was put out, I don't know if that was on the Mars or the moon, but there was a face, and they tried to make it seem as though it wasn't. Wherever that face was, there was a face that went out back in the 80s, 90s. I think they said it was the Mars face. That was an actual statue, but they're gonna dispute that, and I'll tell you who they are in a minute. We ought to know by now. All right, so my point is, we are ancestors of foreigners, which are ETs, but they have been on this planet for millions of years, though. Okay, millions of years. Some have, and we were constantly having an influx of that type of human beings coming on this planet and I'll go back into that at a later time. What I want you to consider is this. Okay, the dangers are, we don't know. We are under the assumption, based on being not told the truth, that we're safe and that we'll always be safe here on planet Earth. Okay, I'm just telling you that's the wrong assumption to make. I'm also saying this. When you are involved in the act of war, your whole intention is revenge and retaliation. Unless somehow you develop a higher consciousness and evolve your consciousness to know what it means to have peace and love. Okay? Now, I don't know what the status is of the Sirius star. I'm sure I'll figure it out in my reading. Information is in the reading of the material I'm reading. It's there. I just have to, like every teacher or anytime you're learning something, you have to take bits of learning at a time. Now, when it comes to the Sirius constellation, remember, these are high advanced people. So when you don't want to highlight where you are. That's why I say if you knew your history and knew the origins, you would not have that cert out there. I think that's what it's called, cert. Highlighting and broadcasting where we are. That's the most ignorant and most dangerous thing we've done, because let me tell you, based on my sensing and receiving, yeah, we've made contact. But you think they're gonna just show up and show up on planet Earth and shake our hands and be my friend and all this stuff? I mean, be logical. We're not dealing with logic when we do a whole lot of things. We see things from a personal view of superiority, that we're superior humans, or anything but. Okay, our genetics or our DNA was manipulated to shorten our lifespans and to make us more and more aggressive, because the Sirius constellation, those high advanced humans knew that at some point we would destroy ourselves. And trust me, 99% of the time we do. Atlantis Mu. Okay? Malona the planet. Okay? We also have this planet Akart that was destroyed in 2007 because it swelled up to almost 120 billion people, and they lost oxygen. Okay, and thus died in their, all of them died in their sleep. Some were saved as irrelevant. And like I said, the cosmic events on Mars. So, and because of our consciousness or lack thereof, we're here and we are stuck on Earth. Okay, it doesn't matter where we, a lot of people want to think, okay, let's go to the moon. Okay, let's go to Mars. Anything that's still in our soul system, it's as far as we're going. And that's why I say we have essentially created our own black hole where we're spinning and spinning and spinning in our own self-created black hole. And the only way to know if someone's out there is to get out of our soul system. But we can't, and we will not for a very, very long time. Okay? So, take it there. Since we love science fiction, we like Star Wars, we like all this other type of intergalactic entertainment, take it there. All right? So my point is this. We're playing, okay, let me just say this again. We continually, forever, for as long as let's just say as long as I've been alive, been wondering, is somebody out there? Somebody out there? Yes, somebody's out there. Okay, but until we get out of our solar system, we won't know that. We see stars, right, based on our solar system. Those could be planets for all we know, once we get out the solar system. All right, so we're concerned about reaching people and wondering, is somebody out there? Yes, there are human beings out there. Okay, and my point is this: based on my knowledge and what I've been taught, they know we're here, but they wouldn't dare come near us because of our conquering, destroying mentality and how our consciousness is below standards. So that's why we can't. That's why if they were to come into contact with us, they would kill themselves, destroy themselves. We have plenty of proof of that. That event in Siberia. Okay, research that. That has an ET connection. Okay, and so. Whew, in a nutshell, I'm just saying it very quickly, because in our subconscious, that information is there, but we continually, over the course of time, have forgotten things. You know why? Because of our lifespan and our aggressiveness doesn't allow us to contemplate, cultivate, meditate, but not ruminate. What we do is ruminate, of course, overthink. And what we also do is we forget Our pineal gland is back there. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it's in the back of our head. That's where that is. What people call us a third eye. Looking out. Remember, when we look out, we're looking out. We start from the back of our head to it comes out through our eyes, whatever. So the dangers in not knowing who you are, what you are, and why you are allows for you to keep repeating the same things over and over and over again. Deja vu, deja vu, deja vu. Okay, so my point is, we use insert. I think that's what that's called, which is putting us all in danger. And the damage has been done. So in their attempt to reach people, yes, you reach people, but these people are not stupid either. They pay attention to what we're doing to this planet, what we've done to other planets. Do you think they're going to just, like I said, come on out? Let's shake hands and be friends and, and dance around bonfires and, eat coconuts and, come on now. Just think about it. All you got to do is think about it. And allow yourself to go there and see if it all makes sense to you. See if this can be reproducible. Does it make sense to you? It makes sense to me, but you have to accept however you want to accept things. Okay, so like I said, we're putting ourselves in extreme danger by using CERT. I think that's what it's called. Let me look it up real quick. Wondering if anybody's out there. Yes, people are out there, but until we get out of our solar system with spaceships, we won't know that. And we don't have spaceship technology that can handle that. So in other words, we're exposing ourselves. And are we exposing ourselves to people that wanted to kill us and eliminated us? That's a possibility. And they're just lying in wait. All right? Or what they may do is just lie in wait and watch because they know how we eventually destroy ourselves anyway. Okay? Our overpopulation is what's destroying us, by the way. Okay, we're running out of of the necessary space per se that's suitable for human beings on our own planet. Okay, we've already taken out most of the animals that were crucial. All right, let's see. Let me look this up real quick. I know I'm putting a lot, but some people can handle this and some don't. Swipe, baby, swipe. So here we go. God, what is that thing called? It's that telescope. We're putting our lives in danger by using that telescope. I mean, it's already too late. Let's see, what's it called? I think it's CERT. I'll look it up. But that large bit of equipment out there, wondering if somebody's out there. Yes. Remember, this is millions of years that our ancestors have been here. Okay, so you don't think it has not? You don't think it's been determined that someone's out there? Of course there is. So I'll find out what the name of it is, and hopefully others that are working with this mission will remind people of that. Okay, remind them about the HAARP, how the HAARP is disturbing the environment and the universe. Sounds or some of the sounds that we are making is destroying and disturbing the universe, and we are being watched. Okay, a lot of people get nervous about that. And so they attempt, and they overreact and they start targeting people and start, monitoring people, harassing them. I say don't call the authorities. Document it for yourself and leave it be because it's irrelevant. There's nothing you can do with it. Because, there's a lot of things going on that is intentionally being hidden from us for a reason. I told you about March or May of '79, how we turned down help. And which was the most ignorant. So, a lot of things are just too late. It's too late. The damage has been done. So my point is this. listen to this video several times. And like I said, don't comment on my videos. Just if you like it, like it. If you don't, you don't. But I prefer you not to do really anything because I don't want you to be a target. Okay? So I just want people to think for themselves and prepare themselves. Okay? So don't be surprised that there is a fake invasion or a genuine one. Okay? Don't be surprised about those kind of things. I'm gonna say a lot more, but I like to give bits and pieces so you can think and connect the dots, fill in the blanks. Okay. Again, if you are not delusional and you are in the best of your ability, grounded in your reality, and you happen to look up and see something unidentified to you, okay, you saw it. Now, if you can capture it, good luck. I've tried. I've tried to do that, but something happens. I'm fumbling with my cell phone, and so I just don't get it. I just don't capture it. And then at one point, I don't really find it relevant to have that. Like I said, I've been targeted enough. I don't want to be targeted no more. All right, because certain powers that be, and you figure out who they are. They want to know what you see and what you know, because they want to keep things hidden. Who is they? Well, figure that out. You'll be surprised who they are. And then on top of that, we have all this disturbance in the air with all those satellites that are held by or owned by private citizens. Why would a private citizen need satellites? How much does it cost for a satellite? I want one. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed that journey through space and time. I understand there's a lot you don't know. And some of us, like it like that, and that's cool too. Free will. But just know that, sometimes your worst nightmares may be your reality when you allow yourself to continue to be indoctrinated, but willfully allowing it to happen, without asking appropriate questions. So I'm going to stop there now. I think that's enough flavor in your ear. So when I do start back my podcast, I'm going to start being a bit more detailed, but also, knowing what to say and what not to say. Because look, I don't know a goddamn thing, right? All I do is connect the dots and fill in blanks. But a lot of, the powers that be, if they think you know something, they're gonna harass you. I'm just being honest. Okay, they're gonna bother you, and they're gonna bother people close to you, and start targeting, breaking into your shit. Because I even talked to somebody that used to work with the federal government. They can go in back doors of anybody's cell phone or computers or technology. They can do it because they have that permission, so to speak, to do so. For what they always call it, public safety, defense of the country and all this and that and the other. Okay, a lot of that stuff is just smoke and mirrors. Okay, smoke and mirrors, literally. Okay, the sphere, right? Is the sphere smoke and mirrors? You decide. Peace and love, and trust me, I'll be back.